In the future, defective people are banished to live in the desert. A girl named Arlen has a number tattooed behind her ear. She is taken to the country's border and pushed over the fence. Arlen sets out on her journey, needing to reach a city called Comfort, a place where outcasts like her live. The girl finds a broken-down car on the road and sits behind the wheel. She takes lipstick and an old photo out of her bag. At that moment, she notices another car in the desert and tries to escape, but she is caught and restrained. When she regains consciousness, she finds herself tied up and lying on the ground in a pile of trash. She tries to break free, but one of her captors notices and injects her with an unknown liquid. Soon after, they approach the girl with a saw in hand and turn the music up loudly on a radio. Then we see something horrifying. The girl is alive, but her limbs have been cut off, her wounds carefully bandaged to keep her alive. We learn that the girl has been captured by actual cannibals. These people constantly exercise on makeshift gym equipment. They need large amounts of protein to build muscle, and that is why they follow such a gruesome diet. It's like an outdoor sports camp, run by a man with a tattoo on his chest known as the Miami Man. He drinks soda while proudly inspecting his domain. Alongside his athletes, there are limbless, emaciated people. Their meals, so to speak. Arlen regains her senses and hears someone screaming for help, but there's nothing she can do. In the morning, the cannibals realize she tried to break free and hurt herself. They remove the chain from her neck and drag her elsewhere. While a female cannibal goes to fetch water, Arlen finds an iron rod and hides it on her body. When the woman returns and cleans her captive's wounds, Arlen seizes the rod and strikes her. A limbless captive watches the scene with interest. Arlen crawls through the sand, finds a skateboard in a trash pile, lies on her back, and rolls across the desert toward Comfort. Exhaustion and the heat make her lose consciousness, and crows begin circling as if already claiming her. She is eventually found by a hermit who lives nearby. He puts her on his cart and takes her to the gates of Comfort. The townspeople stare in horror at her injuries, unsure if she will survive. 5 months pass. Life in Comfort continues as usual. A local madman wanders the streets, shouting reminders not to forget something. Arlen, now alive and equipped with a quality prosthetic leg, is able to walk again. She asks what he means, but he insists she must figure it out on her own. Meanwhile, the Miami Man paints a portrait of his daughter, with the little girl helping him finish it. He steps outside, turns on music, but is interrupted by cries for help. He finds a girl begging him to end her suffering. Without hesitation, he kills her, cuts up her flesh, roasts it, and feeds his family. His partner, Maria, complains she is tired of eating that kind of food. The next day, she takes the Miami Man's daughter and drives toward the junkyard. A man stays behind at the scrapyard, while Maria and the girl collect scraps and old items. Maria tries to climb a trash mound, falls and injures her leg. Back to Arlen. She wanders into the desert through a hole in a large fence, shooting a revolver at crows for fun. She sees a car and a little girl in the distance, so she approaches them. She finds Maria wounded and realizes the woman is from a tribe of cannibals. Maria insists she's only trying to survive, begging for mercy. But Arlen despises cannibals. She kills Maria, a long-delayed act of revenge. The little girl looks sadly at Maria and sits beside her. The hermit collects junk nearby and notices Arlen returning to Comfort, followed by the child. In Comfort, everyone is busy with their daily routines, some skateboarding, others indulging in strange pastimes. The girl curiously looks around and sees rabbits being sold on the street. She likes them very much. Arlen buys one of the rabbits and gives it to the girl. Together, they return to her home, where the little girl tenderly caresses her new pet. She does not answer Arlen's questions and refuses to take off her filthy clothes. Despite this, our heroine keeps the child with her. Meanwhile, the Miami Man takes his scooter and sets out to look for his daughter. He arrives at the scrapyard and finds Maria's body, already picked apart by crows, but the girl is nowhere to be found. The man encounters the hermit at the dump and tries to learn from him what happened to his daughter. He shows him a notebook with a portrait of the girl. The hermit remains silent but gestures, indicating that if the Miami Man draws his portrait, he will write down where to find the child. The artist complies and the hermit happily poses for him. Once the drawing is complete, the hermit writes on a piece of paper, Find comfort. That night, the girl paints Arlen's eyes. In Comfort, the townspeople gather for a show in the main square. A DJ plays music and everyone dances. Then a local guru, known as the Dream, appears on stage. He delivers a sermon encouraging everyone to reflect on the meaning of existence and to find their dreams in unity. Different drugs are distributed, altering people's minds. Arlen also takes a pill. Meanwhile, the girl accidentally drops her rabbit and runs off to look for it. The Dream finds the animal and, along with his pregnant assistant, takes the lost child with them. Arlen realizes the girl is missing, but, under the influence of the drug, enters a trance. An inner voice urges her to leave the city, and she wanders into the desert. Our heroine is soon noticed by the Miami Man. She admires the starry sky, seeing hallucinations, when suddenly he appears behind her. Believing him to be just another vision, she collapses into the arms of the muscular stranger. The next morning, she awakens in the desert without her prosthetic leg, which is in his hands. She realizes she is far from comfort. The man shows her the portrait of his daughter and demands that Arlen find the girl. If she fails, he will take her life. Arlen agrees. On their way, they encounter a bearded cannibal who offers to trade Arlen for a can of gasoline. The Miami Man pretends to agree and drags her toward the container. The bearded man, satisfied, grabs her in his arms. Suddenly, the Miami Man hurls his cleaver at him, one less cannibal. He cuts off the man's arm and keeps it as food. Together, he and Arlen continue on their way. A sandstorm engulfs the desert. The girl tries to relieve herself in the bushes, but the strong winds knock them down. They take shelter beneath a makeshift tent until the storm passes. That night, the Miami Man roasts the arm over the fire and eats it. Arlen learns that he is originally from Cuba and ended up with the cannibals only because he lacked a passport. She cannot decide whether he is good or evil. The girl shows him her tattoos, then suddenly seizes his knife and begins to attack. The man, however, is unfazed. Suddenly, a gunshot rings out. A guard from Comfort patrolling the area has found them. He wounds the Miami Man and takes Arlen back to the city. Back home, she feels constantly troubled, thinking about the strange yet magnetic cannibal. She wanders into the desert again and discovers the Miami Man's notebook filled with drawings. At the same time, the hermit finds the Miami Man wounded and unconscious. He drives off the crows, dresses his wounds, and cooks a bird to share with him. Later, he leaves a toy snow globe with little figures for the cannibal and departs for the desert. Meanwhile, in Comfort, Arlen looks through the Miami Man's drawings and finds portraits of his daughter. She makes photocopies of the image and begins asking passers-by if they have seen the girl, but no one has. Soon, she notices a group of pregnant women, and among them is the little girl holding the rabbit. The child now lives in the Dream's palace, where she bathes, dresses beautifully, is well-fed, and surrounded by toys. The Miami Man recovers, and the hermit brings him back to the dump. There, a broken-down excavator sits idle. The hermit leaves him the toy globe and then heads toward the Dream's palace. The palace is guarded by dozens of pregnant women. Arlen is allowed inside. The Dream himself emerges from the pool and presents her with a tray of pills, explaining that this is the economy of comfort. He believes himself to be a true hero. The Dream asks Arlen what she desires. She replies that she would like to have a time machine to go back and fix everything. Instead, the Dream shows her a tomato. Arlen then says she wants to have a dream inside her, just like the words written on the shirts of his pregnant concubines. She is escorted to a room and left alone to clean herself. The girl draws a pistol hidden in her prosthetic leg. A knock sounds at the door. She hides the gun behind her back, opens it, and takes one of the Dream's women hostage. Our heroine demands the child be released. The woman complies, handing the girl and her rabbit over to Arlen. With the child and the hostage, Arlen drives away from the Dream's palace in one of its cars. After reaching a safe distance, she releases the pregnant woman and takes the wheel herself. The girl holds her beloved rabbit tightly in her arms. In the desert, they finally encounter the Miami Man. Father and daughter run into each other's arms. Arlen asks him if he would like to spend some time with her. The man replies that the girl must return to Comfort, because out here she could easily become someone's prey. But Arlen loves the desert. She takes the man's hand while the little girl grows upset. She misses the spaghetti she ate at the Dream's palace. The Miami Man asks Arlen to take care of his daughter and he takes the girl's rabbit away. Our heroine gently covers the child's eyes as she begins to cry. The three of them then sit together around a campfire, eating roasted rabbit meat for dinner. Yes, it is a frightening future and an unhappy ending for the rabbit. This is the end. If you liked it, subscribe and like it. Help an unemployed person. Until next time, bye.